This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Parshas Sisa, l'chet ha'egal. If we were to narrow down, to pinpoint exactly what was the sin of the golden calf, we know it was an egregious sin, an avera that we pay the price for all time. Uviyam pakti ufakadati alechem esabanei sechem. What exactly was the avera? What was the character flaw? What was the personality trait that needs to be corrected? Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael, I'm going up to Har Sinai, I'll be right back, I'll be back in 40 days. And Rashi says Klal Yisrael made an error. They thought, if Moshe Rabbeinu said I'll be back in 40 days, so 40 days later he'll be back. They didn't realize that he meant 40 complete days. The first day didn't count because the night had already passed, so it's 40 days starting tomorrow. And therefore Moshe said, I will appear when I return within 6 hours. So the 40th day, according to their calculation, came, and Moshe had not returned, and the Satan created an aura of confusion and cloudiness and haze, and he said Moshe must have died, and Klal Yisrael could not wait. And they said, Aseh lanu Elohim asher yelchu lefaneinu, you have to make for us an Avodah Zarah. And Aaron tried to delay, he tried to stall, but the Klal Yisrael woke up early in the morning and they made the Egel. And as they're making the Egel and as they're dancing around the Egel, Moshe Rabbeinu returned, and Klal Yisrael realized that they blew it. They made a big blunder. They needed to wait one extra day. Says the Chafetz Chaim. From here we see how important patience is. Because Klal Yisrael were not patient, and they didn't wait the extra day, and they didn't wait to see what is the correct course of action, because of that, the Jewish people suffer for all time because of a lack of savlanos, a lack of patience. They just should have waited one extra day. And this really has been the verdict of history from the beginning of time. The very first Avera, the Chet of the Eitz Hadas, the Arachaim HaKadosh in Bereshis, Parak Aleph, Pasuk Chavtes, he comments on the Pasuk, Vayomer Elokim, Hinei Nasati Lachem, Ve'es Kol Ha'etz Asher Bo Pri Eitz. I given you all the trees. And the Arachaim HaKadosh is bothered. What do you mean all the trees? Adam Rishon wasn't allowed to eat from the Eitz Hadas. And the Arachaim HaKadosh offers in his second answer that yes, Adam Rishon was allowed to eat from the Eitz Hadas if he only would have waited until Friday night. He would have been able to make Kiddush on it. But Adam Harishon made an early Kiddush. He had a Kiddush club. That was the beginning of the Kiddush clubs. And it brought Nisa to the whole world. All the ills of the world, all the ills of life come from the fact that Adam Harishon ate from the Eitz Hadas. But it was something that was permitted to him if he only would have waited. But he didn't wait. Now how long did Adam have to wait already? He was born on Friday, he was created Friday in the afternoon. It would only be a couple hours. But Adam didn't wait the few hours, and because of that, the rest of history. So the Chet of Adam Harishon, the Chet HaEgal, even the Chet HaMeraglim, Vayivkon Balayla Hahu, they cried that very night. Wait another day, maybe you'll see tomorrow, things will be better, things will be different. You'll have a better frame of mind to deal with the challenge that you're being faced with. But the verdict of history is that the big challenge of life is savlanos, patience, waiting, the ability to wait a little bit for delayed pleasure instead of instant gratification. That is the pattern of history, and that is the nekuda of the sin of the Chet Egel and the Eitz Hadas. It's interesting, I remember a shmuz that I heard from our saintly Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Henoch Liebowitz Zechatzak Levracha, regarding the Chet of Mei Meriva. Rashi says, we know that Moshe Rabbeinu hit the rock, but Rashi tells us in the beginning, Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to the rock, but he spoke to the wrong rock. So the rock really was only producing little drips of water, so Moshe Rabbeinu figured he should have hit the rock, and he hit the rock, and that was the mistake of Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Taz quotes Rabbi Eliezer Mizrahi, and the question is, what exactly was the mistake of Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe Rabbeinu, he spoke to the rock, and he did what Hashem said, but it wasn't working because he spoke to the wrong rock. So then, what's the taina Moshe Rabbeinu? So the Taz, in his second answer, says that the truth is Moshe Rabbeinu should not have known that he spoke to the wrong rock. How is Moshe Rabbeinu supposed to know that he spoke to the wrong rock? So Moshe Rabbeinu is in a quandary. He has 600,000 people to feed. He did what Hashem said by speaking to the rock, and now he doesn't know what to do, so he has no choice. He has to hit the rock. God said speak to the rock, so he spoke to the rock. So now what? He has no alternative, so he has to hit the rock. Says the Taz, no, he has an alternative. You know what the alternative was? Wait. What do you mean wait? But he has 600,000 people down his back waiting to have something to drink. What do you want from Moshe Rabbeinu? No, the taina of Moshe Rabbeinu was, God said speak to the rock. You did? Okay, nothing happened. So now wait until Hashem gives further instruction. So this is also an example of one of the cardinal sins in history, where the Avera was only that Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't know what to do, so under the circumstances, he felt he had no alternative other than to take action and hit the rock. And the taina of Moshe Rabbeinu, according to the Taz, was he should have just waited for further instruction. You know, it's interesting. There was a famous study conducted in 1972 about delayed gratification, led by the psychologist Walter Mischel, professor at Stanford University. So in the study, a child was offered a choice between one small but immediate reward or two small rewards if they waited a period of time. So during the time, the researcher left the room for about 15 minutes and then came back, and the reward was either a marshmallow or a pretzel stick, depending on the child's preference. And in the follow-up studies, researchers found that children who were able to wait the 15 minutes for a preferred reward tended to have better life outcomes measured by SAT scores, educational attainment, BMI, body mass index, and other life measures. In other words, almost like the key ability to be successful in life is if somebody has the patience to wait to make a better decision. And throughout history we find that this has been the downfall of Adam, whether Adam HaRishon, or Klal Yisrael D'Cheda Egel, or even Adonenu Moshe Rabbeinu, who we could not even find an iota of fault if not Chazal revealed to us, Baruch Kodsham. But nevertheless, this seems to be a foundational midah, a seminal midah in the success or lack thereof of a person's life. Now, why is patience so important? Why is it so fundamental? Why is it that the Ribono Shel Olam is so expectant and demanding upon us when it comes to this particular midah? So I think there are two dimensions to this. Number one, Rabbi Victor Miller, Zechak Devracha, would quote the Chovos HaLevavos in the Shar Avodas Elokim. The Chovos HaLevavos asks, what is man's function in this world? What is the main objective of man in this world? And one of the three objectives that the Chovos HaLevavos identifies is that a person should become kemalachim hasolvim, like the angels that are tolerant, the angels that are patient. That one of the chief objectives in this world is to become tolerant, patient. That's one of our main purposes in this world. That we should be able to tolerate difficult people, difficult circumstances, occurrences that are not lefi ritzonenu. And therefore we could suggest that is why these chataim are considered so severe, because demonstrating a lacking in this particular midah is not just one particular character flaw, but it's lacking in the entire objective of chayim in this world. And now we come, I think, to the even more important reason, and that is, what is this whole world about? What are we here for? Olam hazeh doimel lefroiz dar b'fnei olam haba. The whole purpose of our existence is to ultimately be able lehanois miziv shchinasai shezeu hatainig ha'amiti v'o'iden ha'gadol mikol hayidunim sheyichaylim limatzeh. The purpose of existence is to attain the greatest pleasure, which is devekos ta'akadosh baruch Hu. But the place of this devekos, of course, is olam haba. So the entire purpose of existence is chara b'haya maleka. There's no reward in this world. It's all about working in this world to be able to attain olam haba. So the whole function of our existence is to have the tolerance and patience to be able to say, I'm working hard in this world, but I don't expect the paycheck in this world. The paycheck's going to come later. That's the whole tachlis hachayim. So a lacking in the midah of savlonus is, so to speak, a lack in the whole understanding and recognition of what our function in this world is. Patience is the foundational character trait necessary to be successful b'chaye olam hazeh, in order to be zoicha to chaye olam haba. And therefore we have to learn from the Chedo Egal that sometimes in life a person has to take a deep breath and say, okay, I know I need my child to do X, Y, and Z, but maybe he's not ready to do that yet, maybe he's not mature enough to do that. Let me take a breather and wait until he develops. I know I want something, but I can't have it right now. I'm going to wait a little bit, because exercising these muscles, this midah, will prime us to be able to fulfill our main tafkid in this world, and that is la'amol v'la'avodas Hashem k'dei lizkos l'chaye olam haba. Agun Shabbos.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.